Hello guys, Jacobo here. Today is a special day. I'm launching new monthly series, How To. Every third Saturday of the month I'll talk about countering certain decks, deck building tips, possible side deck cards, and all that other good stuff. This first episode is about countering one of the meta decks right now. I've seen so much bitching on how powerful, consistent, and unbeatable it is that I've kinda changed my plans on this one and wanted to get this out of my system. So without further ado, I'll talk about how to counter Necloths. This deck has 4 things that it can do. It can ritual summon, it can use hand activated effects, it has Trishula, and a confusion summon. I'll talk about each one of those individually, so altogether this is all about Necloths. First, let's start with the ritual summons. The most obvious method is to just prevent special summons with Vanity's Emptiness, Christia, Vanity's Ruler, Vanity's Fiend, Cactus Bouncer, Fossil Dyna, or Newman. All those cards prevent special summoning. However, all of those cards prevent special summoning for both the players, so you get hit by your cards as well. Therefore, I'd like to introduce some cards that might be new for some of you, and some of you just might have forgotten that those even exist. So, let's get this over with. First, Cursed Seal the Forbidden Spell. This counter trap can negate the effect of a spell card and prevent your opponent from using it for the rest of the duel. You have to discard the spell card in order to activate it, but seriously, isn't it worth it? I can see those comments, those people talking that this is bad because you're going minus. But seriously, you're preventing your opponent from using one of his key cards for the rest of the duel. If that is going minus, that I'm Luke Skywalker and let the Force be with me. Next card, Armageddon Designator. This works pretty similar to Cursed Sealed Forbidden Spell, although you have to banish one card from your hand, so you're banishing your card, and neither you or your opponent can use this card for the rest of the duel. This goes good in mirror matches, but when it comes to the class, you'll have to side either one of the ritual spell cards, so this might be a double-edged sword, but still something to consider. There's also an older card that can do the trick, Prohibition. Prohibition can prevent your opponent from using a card of declared name. So let's say I declare Necloth Exomirror. So as long as Prohibition is on the face up on the field, my opponent cannot use Exomirror. So yeah, there's that. The other thing is the Secret Village of the Spellcasters. I know that it's only for spellcaster type decks centered, or spellcaster decks only, but hear me out. As far as my research got me, there were the only spellcaster type monsters used in the OCG decks that topped were, well, the ritual monsters. There was pretty much no one who was using Necloths that used the effect monsters, the spellcaster effect monsters. So this might give you an edge if you can bounce back, destroy, or do anything to your opponent's ritual spellcasters, because it prevents your opponent from activating spell cards. So yeah, there's that. Second thing, the hand activated effects. The first thing that comes to mind is Debunk. This is an awesome card. This is a counter trap, meaning it has spell speed 3, meaning that only other counter traps can be chained to it. And I haven't seen a Necloth deck with counter traps at all. Seriously. The only thing they're running any traps is Royal Decree or Trap Stun. All I've seen. And this negates the effect of the monster activated in hand or in grave and banishes it. This is really good because it gets rid of a monster. Let's say they want to go with Brian deck. Debunk. Banished. Bummer. But, well, you can only have 3 of those in your deck, and Necloth deck are full of monsters with hand activated effects, so how about getting something continuous? Like Tyrant's Tirade. The effects of monsters activated in hand or on the field cannot be activated. Simple. You have to tribute 2 monsters, but, well, you hit the consistency of the deck. Tyrant's Tirade may work good in decks that require monsters to be tributed, like Cliff Wards, or decks can provide easy tribute for voters. Monarchs. The other card is Mental Drain. This is kind of a skill drain for your hand. This is a skill drain for your hand, so you pay 1,000 life points and effective monsters in the hand cannot be activated. The end. The thing that needs to be noticed is that all those cards, I'm using TCG ban list, so all those cards are unlimited. And next thing, Trishula, Necloth of Trishula. This is the most feared card in the entire deck. Most bitching is on Trishula. The easiest way to counter Trishula is with my personal favorite, Imperial Iron Wall. With that, Trishula cannot activate its effect, because, well, cards cannot be banished. Imperial Iron Wall also hits the consistency, but I'll talk about it later. There are also 2 other traps that can deal with Trishula, and they're pretty much searchable. That's Void Trap Hole and Trap Hole Nightmare. Both of these cards are pretty similar. The first one destroys a monster that has 2,000 or more attack points and negates his effect at the same time. So, Trishula is summoned, effects activated, Void Trap Hole activates, and the effects negated, Trishula is destroyed. Trap Hole Nightmare is pretty much the same. Monster is summoned, effects activated, monster is destroyed. End of story. The last card here I'd like to talk about is pretty plain and pretty simple. It's just skill drain. The effects of all face-up monsters on the field is negated. End of story. But there's one more way to counter Trishula. And it comes from the ruling. Because Trishula says that when this card is ritual summoned, you can banish one card from your opponent's side of the field, hand, and graveyard. Which means that if my opponent plays Trishula, I just have to have a card on the field, a card in the graveyard, and a card in my hand. If any of those zones is empty, if I have no cards in my hand, in my grave, or on the field, the effect cannot activate. It's just as simple as that. The last thing I would like to talk about in the Necloths are the fusions. The most common fusion cards used in the deck are Miracle Synchro Fusion to bring out Dragon Knight Dracula Quiste, and the Mask Chain Second to bring back Mask Hero Acid. The first one is pretty simple to counter. Imperial Iron Wall for the win. It can either prevent the summoning of Dracula Quiste or his effect, which requires banishing a monster. The thing with Mask Hero Acid is a bit more trickier, because he is mostly summoned to destroy your entire back row. There are two cards I found pretty cool when in my research about when countering it. The first one, as you probably could see, is Starlight Road. It can summon Stardust Dragon and destroy Acid, which is pretty awesome. However, since it's a normal trap, your opponent can chain stuff to it, like Royal Decree, Trap Stun, stuff, which pretty much will prevent you from playing. The next thing, next trap, is the Huge Revolution is over. This is a pretty old one. I stumbled upon it when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy, so yeah. The effect is pretty similar to Starlight Road, however, this is a counter trap, meaning it has spell speed 3, meaning your opponent cannot respond to its activation, unless he has a counter trap, which Necloth don't. Also, it banishes Acid. You don't get a 2500 beater, but reasons. You get to just banish an opponent monster. So yeah, there's that. How Imperial Iron... I wanted to talk how Imperial Iron Wall was awesome. You see when... the thing is that... how Imperial Iron Wall hits consistency in the deck. It's all about the last effect of the mirrors. But you can banish the mirror and one Necloth monster to add a Necloth spell card from your deck to the grave. If you can't banish, you cannot use this effect. If you cannot use this effect, that means it hits your consistency. And if you can't use monster effects from hand with, well, Debunk, Tyrant's Tirade, or Mental Drain, that means you cannot use Necloth of Brionac or Necloth of Colossolus and add other cards. Which actually means that you're pretty much screwed, because the only way you can add cards to your hand is by drawing them. And that means your opponent can pretty much, and that slows the Necloths down. Pretty much, the consistency falls down like a ton of bricks. There are some other cards I'd like to talk about here. The first is Diamond Dust. This is normal trap which destroys all water monsters in the field and then inflicts 500 points of damage for each one destroyed by this effect. Might be pretty handy when your opponent goes for that Exabeetle Quasar Shooting Star combo, which got popular after Will posted his video on Necloth a few weeks back, so there's that. There's also Deep Dark Trap Hole. This banishes a level 5 or higher effect monster that was special summoned. Just like that. Thunder King Rayo does the same thing as Imperial Armor or Tyrant's Tire Regimental during debunk, but in one card. It hits the consistency. He's pretty easy to run over by most of the ritual monsters, but he still does his job well. The last card I'd like to talk about here is Violent D Sigma. He has this pretty similar effect to Ally of Justice Catastor. He can destroy a monster he battles before the damage step, at the start of the damage step. However, you have to equip a face-up attack position effect monster your opponent controls, and your opponent will have plenty of those. Which means that you'll have a monster that cannot go to the grave because it's equipped to D Sigma, and you'll destroy anything your opponent throws at you. Sounds like a win-win for me. Okay, that's all for this episode. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe. I was Jacolo, and peace.